stages from 3 to 8 p.m. on Saturday, August 23rd. Learn more and register at revanrumble.com.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
We don't just cover the green and gold. We cover the green and gold. Your home for Green Bay football talk on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app. It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, alongside former Packer Bryan Bulaga. Here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
One final day without Homer. It's the best 60 minutes, of your day. Homer will return from Ireland tomorrow. I'm Alex Struff in for the Emmy Award winner once again tonight, alongside Packers Super Bowl champion, former first-round pick Bryan Bulaga, coming off of a Saturday preseason victory over the Indianapolis Colts. A little bit better than last week, Bryan.
Yeah. I mean, overall, right? I mean, like you look at, I guess, everything, right? And overall better, sloppy at times, as you know, we can get into. But you look at the way they finished, right, after a sloppy start, the way they finished, and that is like obviously better, and you see progress in that. And to me, that is that speaks volumes. That's a good thing to see. And I get it. It's not like the ones, and it's like the ones coming back against another group of ones, but it's the sign of a football team that's, getting better. And to me, that's what you're looking for in the preseason. You're looking for a team that's improving. And that's, I think that's what we saw.
I think the biggest, maybe not the biggest, but one of the bigger takeaways for me from the first two preseason games, and I think we might have talked about this a little bit last week, is this Bo Melton situation is just fascinating to me, because the dude's obviously a really good athlete, and they love his ability to be a gunner on special teams. Like they view him as probably their best gunner in a decade since Jared Bush or Jeff Janis when you were there. Mm-hmm. And so they love that ability for him. But playing receiver really didn't justify a roster spot, I think, in their eyes. So earlier in the offseason, they said, okay, we're going to make this switch. We're going to try you out at corner. And through the first two preseason games, he's completely looked the part. He doesn't look out of place. He doesn't look lost. He hasn't gotten burned. Now, granted, it is preseason, and this is a vet at this point. He's in his fourth NFL season. But for only being a couple months into a brand new position for him, at least since high school, I think he's looked really solid at corner. I don't know what you've seen from Bo Melton, but I've been super impressed with him.
Yeah, as impressed as you can be for a guy that's asked to do something on a whim, essentially, because that's what this is. Right? I mean, they might have told him a week or so maybe before camp, and maybe you prepare and do some drills at home to try to get you ready for that. But, right, nothing really gets you ready for it until you're there doing it against NFL wide receivers, right? You can't simulate that at home. There's nothing you can do. So for a guy that's making the switch on the fly and adapting and learning, I think he's doing a good job. And the thing is, when it all happened, right, when he makes the switch, how valuable he is on special teams. There's no surprise about that. There's no questioning that. But you almost feel when you are a stud on special teams, there's also the other variables, what else do you contribute on one side of the ball, right? That's always the thing. No, you may not be a starter, but in situations you may have to be a guy that goes in and you may start a game, or you may end up finishing a game. That's just the way it goes. And I felt like when you pull a guy from a position he's been playing for the last how many years, and you throw him into another position on the other side of the ball, it kind of puts him behind the eight ball, and it puts him at a disadvantage. And now you're not even giving him the best opportunity to make his case to solidify making the team, right? To be 100% sure that guy that is making the team, regardless of the special teams contributions. But the way he's kind of accepted it, just kind of put his head down, worked. I mean, you've heard his interviews. There's been no complaints.
Right.
There's been nothing. He's just got to work. And you've seen, like, obviously the games, he's done well. Clips in practice, it's gotten better from what you could see in, clips from practice. There's no reports of like he's getting, like you said, burnt or he looks way out of place. There's none of that. So like that's a credit to him. And like you said, the type of athlete he is and the attitude he has, kind of like attacking this switch. And I mean, listen, I hope he continues to get better and better at it, because like there's a chance he gets used at that position. And as we're finding out right now, there's a chance he gets used on his original side of the ball.
Yeah. The injuries continue to stack up there, but they didn't use him. I thought they might in the preseason game, playing both ways, almost Travis Hunter style, but they ultimately didn't on Saturday, even with the top 6 receivers not playing. Matthew Golden was healthy. The other 5 just were not available, but none of the starters played on Saturday. I guess we'll see with that, but he has been one of the best underdog stories, and obviously really easy to root for, because in 2025 you just don't see that. A, and B, when you do see it, it typically is like a football death certificate, right? It's like, you're signing up for your football death, and it seems to me like, he's 100% going to make the roster and probably going to be needed to play a little corner at some point during the regular season. So good story there. Not so good story. I know you just talked about it a little bit with the boys on KBN. But Anthony Belton, 5 penalties in the first half, the second-round pick, 11 penalties by the offensive line in the first half. I don't know what Matt LaFleur said at halftime, but it worked as they cleaned it up and ultimately, were able to find a way to win that game. But just inconsistent, self-inflicted wounds. It was just messy in the first half. What'd you diagnose there, and how were they able to correct that?
Yeah, it was messy. It was sloppy. I'm pretty sure I was seeing the right thing. The Colts started their dudes up front, if I'm not mistaken. Right. Yep. Yeah. So that obviously puts, that second group or who they put out there automatically a little bit of a, mental state that maybe they weren't prepared for, right? Like maybe they were thinking the Colts wouldn't put those guys out there. Then you see Buckner across from you, and it's kind of like, okay, wasn't expecting to see that guy, right? And hey, like that's what happens when you start in the NFL. Those guys are across from you all the time. So like you have to be prepared to block those guys. If you want to be a starter in this league, you have to block those guys. That's the way it goes, man. Doesn't matter where you were drafted or who you got. If you want to be successful in this league, start in this league, make money in this league, you have to block those guys, right? So I'm not giving that excuse. It was just sloppy, right? LaFleur talked about it last week about the penalties and how they need to clean them up. And they come out and it's a lot of penalties. And obviously 5 on one lineman is not good, right? I don't think I've ever seen it. One guy getting 5 in the first half. I've seen a guy get like 3 holding calls in a game or something like I've seen all that. But 5.5, not normal, right? And it kind of was one of those things where it's like you got the first few and it just kind of spiraled, right? Like, and it just kind of, they continue to pile on. And when they pile on, man, it's the way it goes. And the thing is, like, I've watched, besides the penalties, right? Like, we'll take the penalties out of it. Like, obviously, we know what that does. Take the penalties out of it, and you watch his performance and how they, like, played, right? And like, you kind of single it out. And it wasn't like he played awfully, right? Like you watch it, and it's not like, man, he was getting smoked every play or he was emang. Like, it wasn't like that. It was just like kind of sloppy play, and then the penalties, and then you get backed up, and then you get put in bad positions, and it puts the whole group in a bit like. And those are the things that like stack up against offensive lines throughout a game and through a half, right? Like a guy gets a 10-yard penalty, now it's 2nd and 18 or whatever it may be, and hey, that's a bad position for everyone. Then something else can happen. Like, and it puts guys behind the 8 ball, and it's tough to, get it right, right? And that's kind of what they were doing the entire first half, was like playing from behind, right? Behind the chains. And that's what, that when you have that many penalties in a half, that's what you're going to be doing the whole first half. It's hard to like get it right. But they come out in the second half, and I don't know what was said. I'm sure there was a few choice words from Steno and Butkus. And obviously we saw LaFleur coming off the field going up to Belton. I'm sure that was a fun little chat that I don't know if we have any lip readers, but I'm sure a couple of fun words.
Yeah, I'm sure they were talking about what was for dinner that night. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there was a couple of fun things said there. But it seemed like they got a couple things said and they settled down, right? Like, and I don't know what it was. I don't know. I mean, maybe the thought was, hey, it can't get any worse, right? You can't do any worse than that. Yeah. And they went out and played much better.
I think McCarthy was always a little bit more animated on the sideline than LaFleur. So to see him get after a guy like that was something. Did Mike ever get after you quite like LaFleur got after Belton at halftime? Did you shoot out like that, like during a game?
Well, he would come over on the bench, right? Okay. Like he would come over to the line on the bench and he would chew us out down there. He would never, or at least not to me. It never happened to me. It could have happened to someone else or other guys, like, right. I mean, I don't remember fully, but I don't remember him doing that. But it would be on the bench. He would come over to us, and
it would be more of a group thing than singling you out.
Yeah, again, he could have done it to guys,
sure,
and I just didn't see it, right? Like, I mean, I can't account for every game every time, but to see Matt do that, like, and that's the thing, like, everyone says, well, Matt's not, he doesn't do that. Oh, Matt gets after guys.
Oh,
like, that's the thing. Like, people think he's just this player's coach. He's to this and that. No. Matt will jump on you if he doesn't believe you're playing to the standard that he believes. Like, people, like, they don't understand it. Like, he gets after guys. He did it my rookie year, or not my rookie year, my first year with him. His rookie year, technically, as a head coach. He held guys accountable. At that point in time, though, that was a more veteran team. This is not a more veteran team, so he's a little more animated with it. While I was surprised to see it like that, it's not surprising that he did it, right? I mean, a guy having that type of first half, he wants to get him right, man. He wants to let him know, like, hey, can't do that. And I'm sure it was different words.
Yeah, I'm sure it was, yes.
But just letting him know, right? And the thing is, he did. He turned it around the second half. He played better in the second half.
Yep.
So, like, credit to Belton. You know what? I mean, he could have gone in the tank in the second half, right? Like, he could have played terrible, but he didn't.
So
he played much better.
Amazing moment today in the locker room. Rasheed Walker, and he was joking when he did it, but he took credit for Belton's turnaround. He said, at halftime, I gave him a snack and told him to relax, and he did. And then the reporters naturally asked him, what'd you give him? He said, I gave him a Clementine. And I said, just take this Clementine and flush it all out of your brain and you'll be fine. And so I'm starting to think Rasheed Walker needs to start handing out Clementines because it seemed to work. It seemed to work on Saturday.
Gave him a Clementine, and that calmed all the nerves down.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if a snack would ever calm me down at halftime if I did that. But listen, I mean, certainly going back into the locker room as a young guy, right, and having a guy that's played a lot of snaps sit you down and probably, she'd probably said a couple things to him to settle him down, right? Like, talk to him and give him confidence back, right? Like, because at that point in time, a young guy's going in the locker room. That just happened.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Clementine jokes aside, it's good to see that leadership on display, right? Because we talk so much about this being the youngest team in the league, but Jason says it all the time, right? Just because they're the youngest team in the league does not mean they lack experience now, right? Rasheed's a fourth-year player, but that's a veteran in this locker room. And to see him kind of take that approach with one of the young guys, a rookie, in only a second NFL game and say, hey, man, like, it happens to the best of us. Let's go out there and attack it better in the second half. It's good to see that leadership on display for those guys that were not playing on Saturday. That was my big takeaway from his Clementine trickery.
I agree. Listen, you need that, right? Like, I mean, that's the thing. You need that in that when there's a half like that, like, and obviously the starters aren't playing and they're, in their comfy, casual gear. you need the support from those guys. Those guys need to be able to speak to the young guys and give them support and let them know, like, hey, like, listen, we've all had halves like that or a quarter like that, or, you know, that's the way it is. But that doesn't mean it has to ruin second half of this game. Like that, I mean, that happened already, right? Like, you're not getting that back. Like, you're not making up for that in the second half. Just go out and play a second half now and make it a really good second half. And I think, you know, when you have older guys that are supporting you like that, and you have that type of support system in the locker room, so to speak, it gives young guys confidence, and it clearly that, I think, worked for Belton, because, you know, rough days happen for young guys in preseason. I mean, you see it up and down the league, right? I mean, it happens to guys, and guys can go one way or the other. They can, you know, go downhill,
yep,
or they can fight their way out of it, and they can, you know, take that as a learning moment and, you know, kind of ascend. And you saw Belton fight his way out of it and play better in the second half. And to me, like, that's a positive. Like, I take that as, like, that's a really good thing that he was able to battle his way out of that and play a better second half and not have any of those same things pop up in the second half.
The Milwaukee Brewers get a 7-0 win over the Chicago Cubs. Game one of a doubleheader, well, alleged doubleheader, with some severe weather hitting Chicago right now. Second game is slated to start at 7:05. We'll see if that actually happens. But our buddy Dominic Catronio from 620 WTMJ is in Chicago all week, presented by our friends at Cannon and Dunphy and Big Fish Contracting. He will join us coming up next to break down the unbelievable Crew. It's now 15 of their last 16 they've won after a loss yesterday. Brewers are 34 games over 500, have a 9-game lead in the NL Central. We'll break it down with Dominic Catronio coming up next on the Homer Hour.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
A lane is blocked on 94 westbound. There's a disabled vehicle on Wisconsin 175 South and Brewers Boulevard. That's causing delays to start back at 27th Street. 43 southbound, still looking at slowdowns between Keefe and downtown. And 41 southbound, construction zone delays start at Mill Road and continue through Hampton Avenue. Tonight, a slight chance for thunderstorms and humid, a low of 68. Tuesday, partly cloudy, still humid with another slight chance for showers late, a high of 82. This report is brought to you by Dick & Schrouf Heating and Cooling, now hiring HVAC installers and service technicians. Join a winning, positive team culture that sets them apart. Apply today at dickandschrouf.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Jessica Gatso on 94.5 ESPN.
Crew Tuesdays are back on August 19th.
Turio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in August 19th at 7:05 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
It was always said about Milwaukee Brewer legend Jim Gantner that he played the game the right way.
God gave me the talent to play baseball, but it's up to me what I want to do with it.
It's just such an exciting partnership for us at Big Fish Contracting. I'm thinking there's a chance if you sign up with us, Jim Gantner may be dropping off a tube of caulk at your house.
Shingles, whatever.
See how Big Fish Contracting is renovating homes and redeeming an industry at bigfishcontracting.com.
I'm Pat Dunphy of Cannon and Dunphy. You know, every team's goals at the start of the Major League Baseball season are to get to the World Series. But only the best teams achieve those goals. They do it with a combination of talent, experience, and a dedication to winning. Like a Major League Baseball team, Cannon and Dunphy's law firm has its goals. That's to win for its clients. And we've been doing it for 40 years with a combination of talent, experience, and a dedication to winning. So if you're hurt in an accident and you need help, call Cannon and Dunphy.
Dom Catronio was brought to you by Big Fish Contracting. Visit Big Fish Contracting to see how they're renovating homes and redeeming an industry. And Cannon and Dunphy, Wisconsin's premier personal injury law firm, with over $1 billion recovered for clients.
Whether you're headed to the ballpark or gearing up for kickoff,
roll up in a ride that's game day ready.
At Tsunami Express Car Wash, you'll get unlimited washes for less than $1 a day, plus fast lane access, free vacuums, and detailing tools included in every visit. With locations across Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Fairfield, Oak Creek, New Berlin, and Mount Pleasant, there's always a Tsunami near you. Visit TsunamiExpress.com to sign up and score big all season long. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat.
Looking to heat up a career in HVAC? Dick & Trough Heating and Cooling in Milwaukee is now hiring HVAC installers and service technicians. Family owned and operated, Dick & Trough offers competitive wages, a 401k match, health insurance benefits, and a winning, positive team culture that sets them apart. This is more than a job. It's a chance to grow with a company that truly values its people. Apply now to become their newest team member at dickandtrough.com. Dick & Trough Heating and Cooling. Come see the difference. Apply at dickandtrough.com.
With 18 unforgettable holes on 250 acres of natural private land, the Bog provides the ultimate golf experience. To book your next tee time, call 262-284-7075 or visit golfthebog.com. Enjoy golf. Enjoy the Bog.
This is the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Bryan Bulaga's Homer Hour. ESPN of Wisconsin. I'm Alex Strofe in for Homer tonight. He's back from Ireland tomorrow. And joining us now is our buddy Dom Catronio from 620 WTMJ in Chicago all week at AmFam South Wrigley Field, presented by Cannon and Dunphy and Big Fish Contracting. It's a 7-0 shutout win for the Brewers in Game 1 of this 5-game series. Allegedly a doubleheader today. We'll see if the weather holds off for Game 2 tonight. But Freddie Peralta, 6 innings, 1 hit. You get home runs from Bryce Terang and Caleb Durbin. Dom, I've said it for a week and a half at this point. I'm at a loss for words on how to describe this baseball team. And yet again today, it's unlikely heroes. Oh, well, Freddie's not unlikely, but Caleb Durbin with a home run. They lay it on thick in the 8th inning to make it a 7-0 win. It's just ridiculous what we are witnessing.
Well, you know, I think Caleb Durbin just gave us one of the quotes of the year. We were talking to him in the clubhouse, Alex, and you know, I asked him about all the crooked innings and just how it just never felt like that game was in peril. And adding on and making it a 7-0 win, like how did that feel as a team, as a club? And he said, we're like sharks. We smell blood in the water, and we want to finish the job and make sure that teams feel our presence. And I'm like, yeah, that is exactly what you want to hear from this team right now, because they know they're good, and they know they have the best record in baseball. Granted, they're just playing their game, right? They hit a little slug today. They hit as many home runs today as the Cubs had hits in the game. Like, if I would have told you that, Alex, in May, you would have laughed your face off. Yep. It's amazing how fast this has turned.
It really is. And the way this team plays is, and I'll use the word of the year from last year, but they're so undaunted and unbothered by everything. Right? I mean, nothing phases them. We saw it over the weekend. Friday's a ridiculous finish. Saturday's a ridiculous finish. They lose Sunday, but they bring it to extra innings and ultimately aren't able to finish the job in the top of the 10th, and they give up that single to lose in walk-off fashion. But they just create ways to win, unlike their opponent, who's created a lot of ways to lose the last few weeks. But it's just ridiculous how unfazed they are by everything. You agree with that when you're so up close with them, I would assume.
Yeah, I think with the way that the Brewers play ball, it's really hard to have a bad day, right? When you look at the way the Cubs play, and let's just look at this ballpark, right? The wind wasn't really blowing in today, but it was certainly hurting a left-handed hitter. And I know Kyle Tucker's going through it right now. PCA's going through it right now. Seiya Suzuki has cooled off. Michael Busch has cooled off. And it's just like when your whole thing is thump and your whole thing is homers, and you don't have another way to create offense, that becomes stagnant. And again, to quote Caleb, like home runs just kind of feel like bonuses to the Brewers. Like they know they can hit them, right? Terang suddenly got 13, as many as William Contreras. Like if I would have told you that in May again, you'd be like, wait, really? So the thought of the Brewers playing this way and playing in such a, sandlot, put the ball in play, maybe they'll pop one here and there, but always put pressure on the defense. And they score another unearned run today on that little squibber by Joey Ortiz. They lead baseball in unearned runs scored with 90 of them. The team in second place is 33 runs behind them. That's not by accident.
Unbelievable. Dominic Catronio from Brewers Warm-Up, Brewers Extra Innings on 620 WTMJ with us live from Wrigley Field. I just want to give you the floor on this one because I have never said this. I don't believe this, but a lot of people have floated this idea and have said this, and I want to give you the opportunity to respond to them, Dom. People have said what the Brewers are doing is not sustainable. To that, you say what?
To that, I say they're playing baseball, and there's not an easy way to quantify why it's sustainable. The reason why people are so shocked at the Brewers is because for the last, I don't know, since StatCast came in 2015, like let's say from 2015 to 2021, we learned, before the shift ban, hey, what's the best way to beat a shift? Hit the ball over the fence. And hey, you can put whoever you want at second base. They're going to be playing shallow right field anyway, not playing a real position. And for years, because we can track it and because we value exit velocity and barrel rates and ex-Wobacon and all this made-up stuff, okay, it's at the end of the day, it's numbers. And I've used this before. It's a cliche, but it's the truth. Stats are like bikinis. They don't show you everything, and they can't tell you everything that a team has going for it. So when you look at some of those advanced numbers and you look at some of the nerdy analytic stuff that are more predictive of barrel rate and hard hit contact and launch angles, and I can go even deeper than that, but the predictive stuff doesn't like the Brewers. But yet the in-game stuff, the plate discipline, the bat to ball, the extra bases on the base paths, all while playing Gold Glove quality defense at virtually every position, that's pretty darn valuable too. And the number that I keep falling back to for the Brewers and why this all works, and people talk about, oh, they need more slug, they need more this, they need more that. They've scored the most runs in baseball. Like, the point of the game is to score runs, and they scored the most runs in baseball. I don't get why we have to take that away because their made-up acronym isn't as sexy as some people would want it to be.
Dom Catronio with us here from 620 WTMJ on the Homer Hour, live from Wrigley Field. 4 games left. Are we going to play baseball tonight, Dom? Are we playing this game? I mean, it looks like you're getting hammered in Chicago.
I'm not a weatherman, but the tarp is on the field, and there's a lot of gray, and the wind just changed directions. Again, I'm not a weatherman, but you can kind of read into that. I think we might be right back in this spot again tomorrow with a split doubleheader at this rate.
Is that how they would handle that, out of curiosity? If they were to cancel the night, they would just move the second game to tomorrow at the same time,
that's
1:20, I would guess?
Feeling.
Yeah, I figured that as well.
That's my gut feeling, but I think also there is reason to say, hey, it's too tight of a turnaround for staffing and other things. The Cubs will make up something to say they have to do it on Wednesday, just like they had to make this doubleheader this series as opposed to the end of the last series.
I hate to spend too much time on the Cubs manager, who was, of course, formerly the Brewers manager, and Craig Counsell, but the quote
George
is the quote is making the rounds. He has never seen a George Webb, despite growing up in Milwaukee, being the manager the last time the Brewers won. Free burgers from George Webb, and quoted as talking about it. Why do you think he lied about that? That's just strange to me.
I want to give Counts the benefit of the doubt there because I didn't get a chance to catch up with him today. I meant to down there on the field. I really think he just misspoke. Okay. I just really think it was just. I want to hear it from the horse's mouth first before I actually comment on anything like that because you and I both know he has seen a George Webb before. I think he probably meant to say I've never been in a George Webb.
Which that is
I'm
believable.
Trying to give him the benefit of the doubt on.
Okay,
that's very believable. I've never been in the George Webb. I've lived in Milwaukee for 5 years and I've never been in a George Webb. So I'll try to catch up with Counts this week and see what he has to say about the uproar about all that. But I mean, look, he's the manager of the Cubs. He knows he's got a quality opponent on the other side, regardless if it says Brewers across the chest or not. And I don't blame him for kind of giving a standoffish answer on that question.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm like I said, I'm at a loss for words, Dom, because this team is 34 games over 500. It's August 18th. They've lost 1 game in the month of August. It's just unheard of stuff. They're that good, and I think we've been saying they are that good for several weeks, but I'm still having trouble comprehending that they're that good. Does that make sense to you? You're watching this team more than I am, and I'm watching just about every game the last several months. I just can't. It's somebody different every night. Andrew Monasterio, for God's sake, on Saturday night. It's impossible for me to comprehend how they are doing what they're doing.
Well, I mean, let's kind of look at it right now for the Brewers, right? Because when we were leaving spring training, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn with this take, but I'm just trying to remind folks, like, it is hard to improve upon a 93-win team a season ago, 92 wins a season. Yeah. That's hard to improve upon. And they're running it back with virtually the same cast from a position player front. You add in, of course, Caleb Durbin, and then there's some unexpected contributions from Isaac Collins and a great resurgent season from Christian Yelich. And all of this is to say that the Brewers, did we expect the best record in baseball in 34 games above 500? Of course not. Nobody can, with a straight face, say they expected this. But to be in the central hunt, I don't understand why the Brewers weren't taken seriously for running back the same roster that won the division with 90-plus wins and on the pitching staff on paper. Now, granted, everybody got hurt, was getting better. So the point that I'm trying to understand of all of this stretch for the Brewers is that their model it's a copycat league, right? Like, people are going to try to copy what the Brewers are doing here moving forward of get great defense, get good base runners, and maybe a couple of guys that can hit home runs. Because with Christian Yelich now, and I said this on my show the other night, if Yelich, can we think about this for a second? If Yelich finishes with 30 homers and 100 ribbies in these final 38 games, that's a top 5 MVP. That's on the best team in baseball, the best player on the team. That's top 5. And that's the biggest thing that I keep coming back to. It's like, we all imagine what could have that season been last year if Yelich was healthy. And now Yeli's healthy, and we're seeing that season.
Yeah, I think maybe the naysayers and the Vegas odds at the beginning of the season, they viewed the Willy Adames departure, the Devin Williams departure as way bigger than it's turned out to be.
Yeah, I think the departures are something that is nothing new to the Brewers, right? And the first line that Pat Murphy said in spring training this year was, we are an organization of opportunity. And you look at the handful of guys that have taken their opportunity here with the Brewers. Isaac Collins, Chad Patrick, Caleb Durbin are the guys that just jump out. Or even you look out in that bullpen of being able to trust a guy like Nick Mears or Quinn Priester being trusted to throw as much as he has. Aaron Ashby and DL Hall just doing everything that they need to do to help this team win. But the Brewers are a club that, quite frankly, Alex, it shouldn't be a surprise that they're a well-coached, well-balanced team, because that's the MO of the Brewers. They've made the playoffs 6 out of the last 7 and soon to be 7 out of the last 8 years. Guys want to play here.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think what we're learning more and more is Pat Murphy, Chris Hook, Matt Erickson, etc. Those guys are great maximizers of talent, and that's just the proof is in the pudding here on August 18th. Dom Catronio, 620 WTMJ, here on the Homer Hour. Dom, appreciate the time. Stay dry, and I will talk to you Wednesday on Mr. Irrelevant, all right?
Sounds good. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, guys.
The great Dom Catronio from 620 WTMJ, live from Wrigley Field. Hopefully going to play more baseball, but not looking great as severe thunderstorms rolling into the Chicago area throughout the rest of the evening. Bryan Bulaga will rejoin us. Could Micah Parsons be a Packer? We'll hear from Ian Rappaport and discuss that coming up next. It's the Homer Hour, ESPN Wisconsin.
The Homer Hour is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Left lane is still blocked on 94 westbound at Wisconsin 175 South or Brewers Boulevard. That's causing delays to start back before 27th Street. 43 southbound is slowing way down again, starting at Keefe all the way to Beecher Street. And 41 southbound, not too bad right now. It's mostly slow through the construction zone of Mill Road through Hampton Avenue. Tonight, a slight chance for thunderstorms late, humid, a low of 68. Tuesday, partly cloudy and still humid. Another slight chance for showers late, to high of 82. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 to 9 p. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Jessica Gatso on 94.5 ESPN.
It's Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. For me and my family, finding the perfect home is a journey, but we don't walk it alone. With the We Sell Group, Rob and Nick aren't just real estate agents, they're part of our family's team. They bring us options, perspective, and peace of mind. While they navigate the market, I can stay focused on all that life has in store. Because at the We Sell Group, it's not just about the home, it's about the people and the path it takes to get there. The We Sell Group, more than agents, part of your journey. Get started with Rob and Nick at wesell.kw.com.
Awarded Best of Weddings 2023 by The Knot, The Bog is much more than world-class golf. Our clubhouse ballroom offers floor-to-ceiling windows and a breathtaking full-wall fireplace. Our barn venue was inspired by the on-site barn at Hole 6, built in the 1800s. 2 outdoor ceremony sites and a variety of personalized options. Our venues are perfect for family get-togethers, weddings, showers, graduation parties, or any event you are hosting. Call The Bog at 262-292-0740 or visit thebarnatthebog.com.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
At Cousin Subs, the bigger your smile, the better we feel. That's why our menu features something for everyone, like our Wisconsin cheese curds, golden fries, creamy shakes, and mac and cheese, all paired with your favorite sub, or our subs in a bowl. And don't forget our kids' meals, now with a free cookie. Here's to a better day. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a ball.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts. You're listening to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hold on, the Homer Hour. Alex Stroh, Bryan, Bulaga with you. We will get to Micah Parsons potentially to the Packers. But first, Brian's going to tell you about his friends over at Surfside.
That's right. I want to talk to you about my friends at Surfside. Summer's heating up, and there's nothing more refreshing than a nice cold Surfside iced tea and vodka or Surfside lemonade and vodka to break the heat. Surfside just tastes cleaner than all those other drinks you see on the shelf. It does not leave your mouth feeling like you just dumped a bag of sugar in it after you drank a couple sips. There's also so many great flavors, like my favorite, the half tea, half lemonade, peach tea, raspberry lemonade, and so many more. Made with real brewed tea and real vodka, Surfside's only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy no matter what your plans are this weekend. Look for the can with the sunset stripes, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
All right. I don't want to give too much attention to this, but we have to acknowledge it. So,
okay.
Micah Parsons and the Cowboys haven't been able to agree to an extension. And obviously, Micah Parsons is one of the best defensive players in the NFL. He's only 26 years old. He's got a ton of tread left on the tires. But it was reported by a source last week who has been right on some things in the past. He goes by Pretty Ricky on Twitter. It is a picture of a dog. Okay, and Pretty Ricky, we believe he probably works for like an agency or maybe the league, and he's been ahead of things before. Like I don't want to call him credible, but he's been right on things in the past. So we reported that the Packers have made calls about Micah Parsons, but then things took a turn today because somebody we can actually trust filled in on the Pat McAfee show. That is the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, and talked about the Packers potentially reaching out and maybe trying to bring in Micah Parsons. Here's Ian Rappaport earlier today.
I would expect that the Packers would be among the teams interested. And I would say I would expect the Packers would be among the teams really interested.
Okay.
They have paid Jordan Love. They have a bunch of really good young players, but they haven't. There's some guys like Quay Walker they have not paid. Zach Dom they paid, but they have money to spend, and they are really good. And so like that's the kind of team that I would say if Micah was going to be traded that he'd be going to, because it's like we need one final piece. This guy is an absolute dog. He's worth all the money, so pay him all the money. I mean, God only knows what Bulaga would make that contract. It'd be all of it. But it'd be worth it because you'd get Micah Parsons.
Yeah, so Micah Parsons, obviously a very good player, and it's very abnormal for the Packers to take a swing, especially because you have to pay him of this magnitude. When you hear Ian Rappaport, though, Brian, so yeah, I would expect them to be very interested. That doesn't signal to me, yeah, they're calling. It signals to me, yeah, it obviously makes sense for a team that has championship desires. You were in that building long enough. I've watched this team long enough. It's very unlike them to make a trade of this magnitude, as much as I want to sit here and advocate for it. But what do you make of hearing from Rappaport on Micah Parsons and the Packers' potential?
Yeah, I mean, he certainly gives it some legs, right? Like, I mean, him saying it gives it some legs. I mean, he's obviously an insider. He has a lot of sources to it. Listen, I think it's a no-brainer. There's probably a lot of the good teams around the NFL would make a call, right? Like, I think there'd be a lot of teams that would. Ones that have cap space, right? Like Packers are one of those teams, and that there would probably be other teams that would create the cap space or try to find a way to create the cap space if they could. I don't know in Green Bay if they're up for that type of move, right? Because like if you look at that type of move, you're talking multiple ones, probably multiple twos. And then we're probably looking at, I don't know, what, 41 to 43 million a year, if I had to take a guess.
Probably the ballpark, yeah.
And then we'll say, I mean, obviously, probably a 5-year deal if you're giving up that many picks. So then you're saying, I mean, with that type of thing, I mean, you have to guarantee at least 80% of that deal. So I mean that's what you're tying up, right? Like that's the amount of money that you're putting into the one player, right? And you're giving all that draft capital up. And what you're essentially saying is, yeah, I mean, we want him for the future, right? We signed him for this long, but like we think we're this close right now. We think we could win this in the next, 2 to 3 years with this group. I mean, yeah, we'll maybe add a pick in the third round. Maybe we'll be able to retain a couple guys here and there. But if you look at it with the quarterback and with obviously that number, and then obviously the other guys that are on the team, I mean, there's not much room to wiggle. Obviously the cap will go up. We all know that. But with those types of deals, man, it's hard to spread it around. We'll just put it that way, right? When you have those types of deals, which is why Dallas probably right now is struggling to get that done because they have a lot of guys that are making a ton of dough, right? Like the quarterback, the receiver. I think a couple linemen are making a ton of money. I mean, it's DBs. I mean, so it's hard to make that number work. But obviously, I'd like to see it. It'd be great. It's not my money, right? Like, hey, listen, it's not my money. So like, it doesn't matter. It's like it's not impacting me. I would love to see it because Parsons obviously is absolute stud.
He changes this from a team that's like one of the players in the NFC to all of a sudden they are the player in the NFC if he joins this team.
Yeah, I mean, you throw him on any defensive line or any really front seven because what he does is so unique.
Yeah, right.
And it turns that group all of a sudden into a very dangerous group just like that, right? Like, I mean, now, yeah, we could probably rush 5 or rush 4, and we're going to constantly create pressure. And that changes everything from a defensive standpoint. And that's, I mean, how much do you want to pay for that, right? That's what it is. And I mean, we said that with Myles Garrett when that talk was happening, right? You pay a guy like that. Yeah, you're paying him a bunch of money. But what you get from that is a lot, right? And you have to balance what it's worth. And, you know, it's tough, but at the same time, like, you know, how close do you think you are? Are you a player away? Rappaport says they're like a player away, right? That's what he said. Are they a player away? I don't know. Maybe, you know, it's hard to judge this iteration of this team. We haven't really seen yet, right? Like, we don't know. But I know if you add a guy like that, you'd be a lot closer. I know that for sure.
Sure would be. That's Bryan Bulaga. I'm Alex Stroff in for Homer. He's back with you tomorrow, back from his trip to Ireland. We'll wrap up the show coming up next. Jordan Love back to practice today, just 6 days after a procedure on his thumb. Also another unfortunate injury for a Packers running back. We will dive into that as we wrap up the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin right after this.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. Immediate live show streaming. A homepage customized just for you. The ESPN Wisconsin app.
Bobby Portis, the mayor, joins us here on Kyle Bruston Ortman across ESPN Wisconsin.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN.
You become Mr. Milwaukee. There's something that my boys do here.
Talk to him.
Available in the Apple and Android App Store. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Myron Metcalf and Matt Jones.
It's over, but I think the NCAA is over too, right? I mean, I understand, and I'm actually in favor of the idea of not hurting today's athletes about past issues. At the same time, if there were ever a situation where you were going to institute or implement a postseason ban, it feels like this is the case. You know, I think a lot of people all around the country are wondering, oh, wait, you just decided to do it now? I mean, how many teams have been banned? How many wins have been vacated in recent years? And now Michigan with, I mean, one of the great scandals. The NCAA said Michigan essentially orchestrated a cover-up of this thing, you know, and yet they didn't get any real penalties that are going to hurt the program going forward. Besides,
I mean, Louisville had a national championship taken away in basketball. In theory, if there was ever a time to take away a national championship, wouldn't it have been one based on stealing?
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Hey ESPN Milwaukee fans, Bryan Bulaga here for Surfside. Summer is heating up, and there's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside iced tea and vodka or Surfside lemonade and vodka to break the heat. Made with real brewed tea and real vodka, Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy no matter what your plans are this weekend. Look for the can with the sunset stripes, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason.
From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right. And naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with Accutrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use Accutrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. Accutrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at AccuTransGroup.com.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Tune into Behind the Bucks podcast, the Bucks Plus audio network presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Behind the Bucks brings you exclusive access and untold stories about the greatest stars and moments in Bucks history. Go behind the scenes of Giannis's Emmy-nominated documentary. Hear about the true origins of the Bucks and Six culture and more. Find Behind the Bucks on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get your podcast. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher. It's the Homer Hour. Alex Ruffin for Homer alongside the Super Bowl champion, former first-round pick of the Packers, Bryan Bulaga. And Blue, Jordan Love's already back at practice. Look, whenever I hear surgery, I think it's going to take a lot more than 6 days, but he was throwing the ball a little bit, participating a little bit of 7 on 7s. No 11 on 11s for him, though. Today in a closed session practice that the media was at. But a quick return. So clearly, when they said, hey, we expect him back next week and we expect him to be ready for week 1, they were not telling a lie, which is good news.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, and, him saying that if it was in season, he would have just dealt with it and played. I mean, that's normally a sign that it's really not that bad, but if you got the time to get it done, you might as well get it done. So it's just not bothering you all year round. But it's good. It's good, right? I mean, I don't expect him to, or at least I hope not, take any reps against Seattle in a joint session. There should be none of that. Shouldn't even think about putting him out there for a preseason game. There should be no thought of that. Now, obviously, I didn't really expect him to take any reps this week. I thought maybe that was going to be a little they're saying that, but maybe he'll be out there doing some conditioning. Right. But clearly he's throwing and doing all that, which, hey, that's fantastic that he's doing that. So I guess never say never, but there's no way I think that they'd put him out there in a joint practice or in a preseason game. I just think that'd be nuts. But it's a good thing that he's fine. He'll be ready to go week 1, probably about as close to 100% as you could get, right? As close to 100% as a surgically repaired ligament in a thumb could be, going into a season would be my guess. So that's the positive thing. I mean, there should be no limitation or anything that bothers him or hampers him going forward, right? I mean, the biggest thing is obviously taking a snap from under center. That's a big deal.
Yep.
Handing the ball off with his left hand as a running back's going full speed with that hand out with a ball in it, right? Yep. And a running back hitting it. Those are the two things. And then obviously if it gets hit by a defender, those are the 3 things that you worry about. Is it ready to hold up to those things? And I don't want to find that out right now. I don't really care to find that out right now. I'd rather find out in week 1.
I would too.
And that's just my opinion on it.
No, it's interesting to read some of the modifications on what they did today from Rob Domofsky. So for shotgun plays, he started with the ball in his hand, and then plays under center, he picked the ball off of a small stool to keep his thumb from getting any contact.
Yeah, a 7-on-7 for kids in flag football, grade school, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You got that right. The other injury I wanted to talk about, because it's just unfortunate, but we're at now the the best ability is availability thing with second-year running back Marshawn Lloyd. Tweaked his hammy on Saturday against the Colts. Matt LaFleur just said he's going to miss some time, but there's concern he won't be back for the opener. So this guy, he had injuries last year. It was an ankle injury put on injury reserve. Then he had an emergency appendectomy in November. His appendix was close to bursting, so he had his appendix removed. He couldn't play the rest of the season then. And then he had a groin injury, missing the first preseason game, and now he tweaks his hamstring. So the guy just cannot catch a break. And they have high hopes that he's going to be kind of the thunder and lightning with Josh Jacobs, but he can't stay on the field, Brian. And now it's to the point where you go, well, how can we count on you if you're never on the field? And I feel bad for him because it's not his fault. It's like all these weird injuries, including an appendectomy last year. But again, the best ability is availability, and Marshawn Lloyd just has not been available through the first year now plus of his NFL career.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because you saw the Colts game and he looked explosive. He looked twitchy. Caught a nice. I mean, he got hurt on that wheel route that he caught. But that's the type of player that he is, right? Like he would be utilized kind of like Aaron Jones was. Aaron Jones was put out and ran routes and was out and running wheel routes all the time. And that's the type of back Lloyd seems to be, right? Like he seems to be that type of guy. And it's just unfortunate, man. Like, and it's one thing after the next, groin and a hammy. And yeah, you feel bad for him. Like you do, because he's doing everything he can in the weight room to strengthen everything, like the hamstrings, the glutes. Like he's doing everything. Like there's no way that he's not. So like I can't sit here and be like the guy's not taking care of. Like he probably is. Like that's the thing. Like I don't know what else to say. Like it's bad luck. I really hope that like what he recovers from this and he's like, I don't know, like doesn't like nothing happens to him, because like I really think he could be a good addition.
I do too.
If he stays healthy, because like you saw a little bit from the Colts, and like the guy has some juice, man, and he's got ability, and he could be dangerous in situations, right? If you could put him and Jacobs on the field at certain times together, it creates matchups that you're drawing linebackers out of the box, motioning out a running back, motioning Lloyd out of the back. Like it just does things that teams aren't ready for, right? That's why we were all excited about, oh, we signed Josh Jacobs. Oh, and we have Aaron Jones, because that's the type of things that you would do with two really good backs. Well, you got to have Lloyd healthy to do those types of things, and it just hasn't happened. And it's unfortunate, but I hope this hammy's not too bad.
Yeah,
I hope it's not too bad.
Talk about seeing some explosiveness. He tweaked his hammy on a 33-yard reception.
Yeah.
I would like to see some 33-yard receptions in the regular season, man. Like,
yeah, exactly.
All that does is get you excited. And by the way, I watched the entirety of that preseason game. I missed most of preseason game one because I was at a wedding. I watched the entirety on Saturday, and it just makes me so anxious and excited for actual, real football in a couple of weeks. It's a nice preview, and obviously it's nice to see. I'm such a dork, so I study the 90-man roster, and like I've got guys I'm rooting for, so it's fun to see that. But I'm ready to see Jordan Love hitting Dontavian Wicks and Matthew Golden in the regular season. That's what I'm ready to see.
Yeah, me too. Like, and the thing is, like, when you see the team and you don't see the starters, to me it gets me a little anxious. You're like, okay, like what are they going to look like, right? Like we saw the 1 week against the Jets. It wasn't that great. Now we don't see him anymore. Will we see him against Seattle? I don't know. And it's like, it gets you a little nervous about what we're going to see week one, right? You just have to trust that these guys are getting ready.
Yeah, you got to trust the pros, and they'll come out with no rust. But
yep,
I guess we will see. And I hope they play a little bit on Saturday, but there's no communication as to whether or not they will. But anyway, all right, that's Bryan Bulaga. He's back with you Thursday following the Packers and Seahawks joint practice ahead of Saturday's preseason finale. I'm Alex Strofe. Homer is back tomorrow with John Anderson here on the Homer Hour. We've got ESPN National coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin. And just a reminder, Rich Eisen hosting Sports Center tonight, 10 o'clock Central for the first time in over 20 years. Rich Eisen returns to the Sports Center desk. So enjoy that. We will talk to you soon. Peace.
Some slowdowns are improving this